So, Leshia, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. Can you tell us a little bit about you, your organisation and your role?
Sure. So currently I am Managing Director, Recreational Game at the England and Wales Cricket Board, which if I try to summarise my remit, I'm responsible for the holistic health of any cricket that you play for fun rather than money across England and Wales. I have direct responsibility for 32 people in my team in the ECB, but we invest in and performance manage 38 cricket boards or foundations, so sort of local delivery partners who deliver the game in the counties of England and in Wales. And we also work cross-functionally with teams at the ECB, such as facilities. I've been in that role since February of this year. I actually started my coaching journey when I was in Wales. I was CEO at Cricket Wales between 2020 and 2024. Literally joined just before COVID hit. And then left to come back to the ECB. I was actually prior at the ECB in the participation department before I went to Wales. So I've sort of gone a bit full circle on it. But yeah, come back in February this year. So just at time of speaking, have just completed, I think, 8-9 months back in this role. Obviously had my first summer of cricket in this role, and we're just about to launch our new strategy for 2025 to 2028, literally launched yesterday to the network. So
fantastic.
Feel like I've come a long way, done a lot, particularly in the last sort of 8-9 months, but do genuinely feel that the coaching that I've had, gave me we'll go into it, I'm sure, but the sort of ability to prioritize, arrange myself, balance myself in my previous role, CEO at Cricket Wales, and unquestionably helped me in that process when I was even deciding if I wanted to apply for this job that I now have, and then sort of going through that process. But I'm sure we'll explore that in due course.
Brilliant. So how would you sum up your experience, and what would you say to other leaders if they're facing you described some challenges that you might not have been aware of? What would be your advice to them? What would you suggest to them if they were to consider coaching?
Oh, look, it's the biggest investment that you can make, and everybody is busy. Everyone can always be busy, and it's kind of like finding time to exercise. Just do it, get sort of bite off the first sort of 10 minutes and you will not regret it. I've actually continued my work with my coach, so sort of past going through the Sport Wales and my Cricket Wales, it was one of the things that I was very keen to negotiate when I moved into this role, was to continue that relationship, because it genuinely, I think I've written it, it changed my life. It has been a life-changing experience, particularly on a professional level, but also on a personal level. I owe my coach so much for my sort of mental well-being, my physical well-being, and now, from a professional level, to have achieved what I've been able to achieve in the role that I'm, now get to say out loud is mine, and see how people sort of respond to that is, I say, just the greatest privilege. And maybe I would have got there had I not had that experience, but it would not have been as smooth a journey, as thought through, as reflective, and so it's an absolute investment of, obviously, yes, financial resource and human resource in terms of time, but the return on that investment, I can't even quantify personally for myself anyway. I can't quantify, the proportionate multiplier of the return on investment that I've received.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today and to talk about your experience. You've spoken very openly, which has been amazing, and hopefully other leaders can reflect on some of your experiences and then consider it for themselves.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. And just to build on what you said, particularly in the sports industry, I mean, it's the only industry that I know intimately, but I know the challenges, particularly in national governing bodies, and what national governing bodies and therefore what the leaders of those organisations are asked to do now. It's not sort of, well, frankly, it's not very much fun working in sport, and for good reason. All the additional kind of governance considerations, and it can be a very, all leadership positions, I'm sure, can be a very lonely place. But we need to keep resilient leaders, particularly in our industry and sport. And so, yes, it's both an investment, but also hopefully a safeguard of those people, because there are some fantastic leaders in our industry, and we just need to keep hold of them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Leshia. It's been brilliant for you to spend time with us today. I know you're super, super busy. So glad that you've had a fantastic experience, and thank you for taking the time.
Well, thank you again. Really do appreciate the opportunity and everything that I've benefited from. So yeah, just huge thanks from me as well.